Good evening, viewers. Welcome back, everybody. Hollywood Purgatory back for another Hangout Live edition.
Mhm.
Jeffrey Harris here, 411 Mania. On the other end, up in Sacramento, we have Jay Snook of the Good Men Project. Hi, Jay.
Hey there, what's up?
How are
How's
you
it going?
doing? We are nice and refreshed after coming back from Anaheim, California. We were both at the WonderCon convention, covering it as media. And
Hmm.
now that we're back, we kind of just wanted to offer some of our thoughts, our highlights,
Hmm.
and what have you from WonderCon. Our favorite things from WonderCon,
Hmm.
our not so favorite things from WonderCon,
Hmm.
and things of that nature. We both got to spend a good chunk of time there.
Hmm.
And yeah, we're just gonna dive through that. And a couple other things, but mainly it's gonna be all. This will be our special WonderCon edition,
Hmm.
Jay,
Hmm.
and before and at the end we'll be talking about some of the other things we have coming up to look forward to.
Hmm.
So, how was WonderCon for this year overall for you, Jay?
It was pretty good. WonderCon is always a con that doesn't really, you don't really have to break the bank over, which I like
Right.
because some cons try to. Anaheim is, more affordable usually and pretty nice.
Yep.
That convention center is huge.
And
This
lots of space, lots of hotel room space as well,
And
so
this
it's
year it
easy
was
to
interesting because when I
go.
was there at that convention center for D23, they were renovating half of the place. So now that was done this time. So it was
Yep.
interesting to see that and how that was utilized.
Right, they had a whole extra hall opened up, separate from the main convention hall that's called the
Mm-hmm.
North Hall. So they
Mm-hmm.
use that for panels and things. So, I mean, San Diego Convention Center, they could use an expansion like that, don't you think? Because
I haven't, but I would assume they probably could.
I mean, don't wouldn't you agree in San Diego we're a little maxed out in terms of space these days?
Yes.
It's a little too crowded, don't you agree?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And hotels are a lot more affordable too. Um, just to give you some stats by comparison, in the similar amount of space, the Anaheim Convention Center has about 40,000 hotel rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so think about
Mm-hmm.
that. Do you know how many hotel rooms in that same amount of space there are by the San Diego Convention Center where Comic
Five.
Con is?
Five.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, about 5,000 rooms. So think
I
about
guess.
so no, it's a good guess. So it's about that amount. So think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get a hotel room in San Diego if you want to be like right there next to the convention center, right in like that kind of gas lamp area. Anaheim, it's a little bit easier, and you won't, and the hotel rates aren't price gouged
Mm-hmm.
as much, so it's a lot more reasonable, right?
Yeah, and really, as it comes down to WonderCon in a nutshell, I got what I want. I got to see a bunch of stuff before they came out, some
Right.
TV show like pilots, some things like that, some movies. So it was
There's
overall
a
good.
lot
I
of
got to see
TV
what I
this
wanted.
year. Comic Con has a lot more movie stuff, and there was some movie stuff here, but it was more like TV, home video, and a
Hmm.
mix of comics this year, don't you think?
Yeah, true.
Um, all right. So, first of all, I guess the big ticket panel for you this year, I guess, was the Ready Player One panel.
I do
I
want to
did
get into that, but I want to kind of just go by Friday first and Friday's
okay.
events kind of first. That's okay.
All right. So we'll start with Friday.
And Friday was actually a cool day because for starters, I met Hannah, who was with Marvel, who I'd worked with on another show face to face.
She's our so for those who don't know, Hannah is our PR contact for Marvel.
And it's cool because I always love when that happens when I meet a contact face to face. It's really kind of cool to have that happen. And Friday ended up being a really cool day because I didn't have too many roundtables this year. And not only did she get me into the Cloak and Dagger roundtable, which was a really cool roundtable, by the way, really great roundtable, but I got to go to the signing as well, which was really cool. The free exclusive signing they had. Because this
Right.
year, WonderCon did something different where they're trying to do all the signings online, and I heard a lot of people, me included, say that they signed up for like a bunch and didn't get any.
I only got one.
So it's a system they need to fine tune some more. Clearly, it's just the way it
I
goes.
think it's a good idea, but
Hmm.
I think it's a good idea to sign up for signings through your online account. The
Hmm.
way it worked was not the execution could have been better,
Yeah,
but
I agree. It's a good idea
hopefully
too
it'll
because I remember last year you just had to wait in line for however long and hope you got it. So it was nice not to have to wait in line because there's already a bunch of lines.
right.
But yeah, it was a little. It does need some fine tuning.
Maybe I mean maybe they could do that for panels as well, so that way you can eliminate the line. It's people waiting for things they're not going to get into. But I did get to take part in the Cloak and Dagger roundtables, which were very interesting. And Friday they also had the first screening of the Cloak and Dagger pilot, and that'll be premiering on Freeform later this spring. So the Cloak and Dagger.
I think it said in June, actually.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so I believe it's in early June. Let me check.
Yeah.
Did you get into the screening or just the roundtable?
Just the roundtable and the signing.
Okay. So Cloak and Dagger premieres. It premieres on Freeform. Let me see, June 7th.
Okay.
So I did actually get to watch the pilot, thanks to Hannah. So Cloak and Dagger, I think it's very promising. So who do we have in this series? We have Olivia Holt. She plays let's see.
Dagger, I would say, right?
Well, she's Dagger, but the character's real name is I think Tandy. I'm gonna say Tandy Bowen.
Maybe. Sounds about right.
Yeah. So Olivia Holt is Dagger, who is Tandy Bowen, or well, she's not quite Dagger yet. Aubrey Joseph is he's Cloak, who is his real name is Tyrone Johnson. So basically, they're two teenagers. They were both in a very traumatic incident in their childhoods, and then their lives diverge after that. And then as they're growing older and they're teenagers in high school, or at least Tyrone's in high school right now, they kind of reconnect, and they have these strange powers that manifest. Aubrey Joseph's Tyrone, he has this strange ability where this sort of dark matter will emanate from his body, and it will transport him, or I guess teleport him to other locations. And Tandy's powers, she seems to emit some type of light that turns into sort of a sharp object, like a light dagger that she can use as weapons. For a Freeform show, now Freeform used to be ABC Family, and in the old days, in the 80s and 90s, this used to be the Family Channel. Now it's Freeform for Disney and ABC. It was it was surprisingly dark and edgy. I think it's a very promising pilot. It looks like it's going to tackle a lot of sort of social issues and subject through the premise of having these two, young teens who are sort of discovering that they have these special powers and have this connection with each other. Not a whole lot happened. It's a pilot. It's the pilot for our first season of a TV show. So they only set up the characters in their past relationship. Not a lot was developed. There's sort of it's set. Oh, I like the setting a lot. It's set in New Orleans. So so you know how like most of the Marvel movies, they're either set in New York or whatever. This is actually set in New Orleans, Louisiana. So that gives it a unique flavor, right? I mean, all the other Marvel TV shows, they're set in a base or a bunker, or they're set in New York City, right?
And I remember in the roundtable they had said that they had originally thought of doing that. I think Jeff Loeb had said that, but then they said no, we want to do it somewhere different, and they decided to do it there. And yeah, I think it was a good choice because it's either New York or New York is what they usually do nowadays.
Yeah, putting it in New Orleans gives it a bit of a unique flavor. That one of the antagonists looks like he's a cop who was involved in an incident with Tyrone's family when he was a kid. So it looks like there's going to be a bit of sort of that kind of corrupt police officers and police brutality will be sort of that's going to sort of come forth through the show.
What's really cool is I actually got to interview Jeff Loeb, and that was a blast because he's like, I think to me, he's a Marvel legend. He's been a part of so many Marvel shows,
not just Marvel, but comics and DC comics and shows, and a lot. He's done
and really he knows what he's doing,
and film and TV in general.
And really, in my opinion, he knows what he's doing. He's brought like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a perfect example. That was a show when it first was announced. Like, well, it's going to be good or it won't, and it's been really good so far.
What about Daredevil? Jessica Jones, Luke Cage. He's been behind all those shows.
Yeah, and those are all shows that are kind of like risky shows, especially Daredevil, which have been done before, but you know they've all been great, really.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about talking to Jeff Loeb?
So Jeff Loeb for me was just basically finding out a bit more about the show and how it came to be. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to get to talk to him. He did have a cold, but you know, he was still there and he was still really excited. And yeah, it was just to get to talk to him was just really awesome because last year I had seen him at the Agents of Shield panel, but I've never been that close to him and never gotten to talk to him and ask him questions before. So it was really cool to get to do that. How was talking to him to you? Because I'm sure you've talked to him before.
I didn't get to ask him many questions, but I had met and talked to Jeff Loeb before, and it's a little hard to talk to him sometimes because he can't really. I guess my issue is I understand they can't really tell us a whole lot about things that haven't aired yet. And Jeff Loeb is the type who likes to keep things very close to the vest, which is understandable. So, you know, there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of that. So, plus I didn't want to give him a hard time because he wasn't feeling well that weekend. So,
and also
I did get the show poster. I did get the poster signed by the cast and crew, which was very nice. They were nice enough to do that for me. So nice little memento to take home with for the weekend.
Yeah. And also my interviews that with Jeff Loeb and Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph are on YouTube now. I posted them today, so they are on there. So if you want to see them, they can check them out. They're not long, about like maybe a minute, 2-3 minutes each. You're actually the first question.
Well, they were round tables, so they weren't like exclusive. These aren't exclusives. We were all you were on a table in a room together.
The first question asked is you, so they can hear your first question and my 2 other questions on that video. So
all right, and where can we find the video right now?
Just on YouTube on Movie Secret 23. It's right there.
All right. So yeah, get the plug in again. So you can check out some of Jay's WonderCon interviews on Movie Seeker 23 on YouTube. So thank you for that, Jay. And I think the other really big event on Friday was the animated movie premiere.
Yeah, Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. I got to talk to the cast of that, which is really cool because the girl who voices Killer Frost, she was from True Blood and she was from Once Upon a Time as Maleficent. It's Kristen. Oh God, I don't remember her full name. Kristen Van something. I feel bad, but I can't remember her full name off the top of my head.
I think it's Kristen Bauer von Straten.
That's it. Yes, it was really cool to interview her.
She played Pam on True Blood. Okay, so, and Maleficent on Once Upon a Time.
Yes.
So there you go.
And so she's been a part of 2 shows I really, really like. So getting to talk to her on this one was really cool. And it was really funny about the roundtable for that because I did video for the first time. A friend helped me out that I've seen at cons before. The girl who voiced Scandal Savage, I didn't recognize at first. It was, I think, Dania Ramirez.
Ramirez, right. And she's also been on Once Upon a Time.
But I didn't recognize because she was wearing a hat. So I interview her, I talk to her, I see her at the panel, all this stuff. Then I see her that night. I'm like, oh my God, that's who you are. That's why you look familiar.
You need to do a little more research before conventions, Jay.
It was just really, I didn't know she was going to be in it. So it was really cool because for the most part, they were well-known voice actors in this movie, but not ones that I necessarily really knew really well, to be honest.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, my favorite person, when I did the roundtables for Suicide Squad, my favorite interview was Greg Grunberg from Heroes. And Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yep, he was a pilot in that. I remember that.
He was one of the X-wing pilots, Snap Wexley in The Force Awakens. He plays a minor character in the film named Maxim Steele, but he was a fun interview. And he was nice enough to confirm he will be in Star Wars Episode 9. So that was sort of one exciting tidbit he revealed. He's good friends with director J.J. Abrams. They went to school together. And that's how he got into Star Wars. And he confirmed that J.J. Abrams will be bringing him back in Episode 9. So
yeah, I was able to interview the whole casting. I will say this: it was a really fun cast. They had a lot of fun. This movie itself, really not getting into extreme spoilers, but this movie itself is
a lot of fun.
True, but it wasn't marketed that well, to be honest. I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, it could be good, it could be bad.
Why do you say that?
Just because it was kind of marketed as like a really almost like old shoot 'em up movie, and it sort of is that, but there's more to it than that at the same time, right?
I don't know about that. I thought it was a good animated movie.
It is. I'm saying it is.
I don't. You see, it's a home video release. You know, I don't. they can't get a really big marketing campaign for these. You know, it's mostly online, and they have work and maybe one or two trailers. But I don't. I it's not. I don't. You know, you can't really get a huge marketing campaign for these films like you can like the live action Suicide Squad.
True, but like what I mean by what I said is because like I saw the trailer for this on Gotham by Gaslight is where I saw it originally.
Right, but they
And
had they released more stuff. It's just we haven't seen a whole lot of it.
yeah, so when I saw the trailer, I'm like, well, it could be good, it could be bad, but I wasn't sure. And I will say this: when I saw it,
The movie's good.
yeah, it was good. It was better than I thought it was going to be because it has some cool twists and turns as it goes along. It's
It's
kind of
dark.
cool.
It's dark. It's dark and violent. This is an R-rated animated movie.
Yeah, really, this movie reminded me a lot of Justice League Dark because it's an original story, really, in a nutshell, is what it is. And it's a good original story. You know, they bring a bunch of
Well,
well-known and some lesser-known characters together and tell a story that was a really cool, fun story. So yeah, so it
they're
reminded me.
technically not original stories. They're based on the comics, but they're still good nonetheless. Liam McIntyre, who's from Spartacus, and he played Captain Boomerang
Hmm.
in the film. He was a lot of fun as well. One interesting tidbit he told me, he is interested in playing Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps movie. I don't know if that will happen, but I would say good luck on you, Liam. And I wouldn't mind if he played Green Lantern
I heard
in
they,
that
I
film.
heard they wanted to do John Smith, is what I keep hearing.
John Stewart.
That's what I meant. They
Well,
want to keep
they
doing
want
that
to
one.
they want to do a Green Lantern Corps movie with John Stewart and Hal Jordan is
Oh,
the
okay.
plan. I don't know, but plans change, and we don't even. I mean, we don't really know what's going to be happening with the DC films going forward. We know they're probably going to do Wonder Woman 2,
Hmm.
another Suicide Squad, another Batman with Matt Reeves is probably going to do Batman, and we know Aquaman's coming out,
Hmm.
and they're filming Shazam. So that's
And Flash. The Flash is
the
coming.
flat. Well, Flash doesn't have a director yet, but we know Aquaman's going to come out this year.
Well, I know they said with Flash they wanted to do Flashpoint. I remember that. They said they
They,
wanted
yeah,
to do
they
that.
they did
That's been
say that,
confirmed.
but Shazam is like actively like they're filming the Shazam movie right now,
Hmm.
and then The Rock has been connected to Black Adam for a long time, but who
Hmm.
knows?
Hmm.
So we don't know what's happening with Green Lantern. But I like the idea. If it happens, I like the idea of Green Lantern.
Hmm.
Hal Jordan be. I think Liam McIntyre would do good. I don't know if he gets that role, but I think he was a really nice guy. He was really
Hmm.
fun to talk to, really down to
The
earth.
whole cast really was. The whole cast was fun to talk to.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
were they
all of them,
were happy to
all of them
talk to
were really
press. They had a blast, and answered your questions happily. So yeah, they were cool.
Did you know? Do you know who played Amanda Waller in the film?
Wasn't it Ooh Ooh Pounder?
No, no, no. That no. She played her before, but in this movie it was Vanessa Williams.
Oh, nice.
Remember Vanessa Williams from Eraser and Shaft?
Wasn't she also in Hang with Mr. Cooper?
Yeah. No, that
Was it
wasn't
not
her.
Vanessa Williams?
No, that's a different actress you're thinking of.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it definitely. I think you're thinking of Holly Robinson Pete
Mhm.
from 21 Jump Street. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was definitely not Vanessa Williams. I'm sorry. Christian Slater, though, I think he was really good in this animated film. He's
Mhm.
basically the main character as Deadshot.
Mhm.
And you have the Reverse Flash, or I guess Eobard
Zoom. Yeah, Zoom.
Zoom, the Reverse Flash, voiced by C. Thomas Howell. So basically, there's a MacGuffin. There's a MacGuffin the Suicide Squad needs to get. I won't say what
Mhm.
it is for
Mhm.
Amanda Waller,
Mhm.
and they have to sort of go across the country in like a Winnebago.
Mhm.
Harley Quinn is on the team. We have Tara Strong back as Harley Quinn.
Mhm.
So we have Harley Quinn, in a story without the Joker, which is good because
Mhm.
it's fun to see Harley Quinn in that type of story.
Mhm.
And Bronze Tiger,
Mhm.
who played Billy Brown, who was really good. So a film about these aren't heroes; they're anti-heroes. So that they're not like they're not good guys, but they're
Mhm.
fighting the bad guys and sort of you do like these characters on some level.
Mhm.
I think they did become three-dimensional characters in these films, especially in this film. Excuse me.
And like I
especially
said, there were a
Deadshot.
lot of fun twists and turns as it went along, and
Yeah.
well, the good story wasn't too long. It didn't drag on too long, and yeah, it was of course very bloody, violent, which you expect from an R-rated DC film.
Well, yeah, and I wonder now that now that they're breaking into these R-rated films, because Killing Joke was R-rated, and this one is R-rated too. So I wouldn't mind if they keep doing that in the future if the story calls for it. Wouldn't you
Well, I know
agree, Jay?
Justice League Dark was rated R. I don't remember if Gotham by Gaslight was though.
Justice League Dark was not rated R.
I actually think it was.
Oh, it wasn't.
Let me check because I'm pretty sure it was. I could have sworn that.
All right, you're right. You're right. I was confused. It just
right.
didn't come off like an R-rated film to me. But yeah, I just looked it
And
up.
wasn't Gotham by Gaslight too? Am I wrong?
I believe it was. So
So they're telling grittier stories now, which is nice
yeah.
to see the DC animated films do that because
Okay.
these are stories we don't really. And of course, Gotham by Gaslight was a big deal because it was the first Elseworld story. It probably won't be the last, but it was the first.
Yeah, so I guess it's good to know they can tell darker stories with an R rating now, like Gotham by Gaslight,
and of
like
course,
Justice League Dark, in this film.
And this film actually came out on digital today, and it comes out, I believe, on the 10th on Blu-ray and DVD and digital HD and all that stuff.
You can get it. So basically, the film we saw on Friday night, it's available to stream digitally right now, and then I think in a couple weeks it'll be out on Blu-ray and DVD for everyone else. So,
and end Friday night, we had a blast going to Morton's Steakhouse, which is really good food, by the way, affordable food.
Yeah, and the whole cast of Suicide Squad, we saw them there eating. We ran
into James Tucker. We ran into Fred Tatasciore. Hope I said that.
Hold on. James Tucker, who's the executive producer of Suicide Squad, and then Fred Tatasciore, who worked on Batman Ninja and Overwatch. Do you know the game Overwatch?
I know of it, but I haven't.
He plays Soldier 76. He's one of the main guys in Overwatch.
And that's where I ran into Dania Ramirez too.
Yeah. We talked to her for a bit. Because we were already eating there, and then they came there to eat, so we said hi and chatted a bit. So that was pretty neat. So Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay, thumbs up, right, Jay?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would. If you're a fan of, if you like darker, more adult, stories, that if you don't mind darker, grittier stories, and look, I don't really like when superhero stories go that way all the time, but I think for this cast of characters, it works.
Yeah.
So I definitely recommend Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. So, all right. So I think that about covers it for Friday for us, right?
Yes, it does.
All right. So Saturday, so I guess Saturday, I guess we kind of started things off with Batman Ninja, right?
I did, yes. I started off with Batman Ninja, and Batman Ninja was very interesting for a number of reasons.
Well, I saw it too, so I'll go ahead and.
You saw it on Sunday, though, right?
Yeah, but we'll both talk about it since.
Okay, so Batman Ninja is done in a very different style. They actually use their Japanese studio to make a lot of it, like the animation and things like that.
Well, it's basically an anime movie. It was produced and directed by Japanese animators. It's
funny because it's kind of over the top, but you expected of this, and the story is really, really cool because when I first heard of this, like many fans, you thought it was an Elseworld story because, hey, he's in Japan, but no, he gets zapped there by Gorilla Grodd, which is kind of cool. And
it's not Elseworlds. It's more, I would say, AU.
Yeah.
Alternate universe.
Yeah, and it was really cool because there's someone new playing the Joker, Tony Hale. He does an amazing job. Yep. And it has an amazing cast, actually. The cast is pretty goddamn amazing.
You have Roger Craig Smith as Batman. He's played Batman before, so he
I want to say in some of the games or something like that.
Yeah, Grey Delilah as Catwoman.
Yeah.
Will Friedle from Boy Meets World
as Nightwing.
And Guardians of the Galaxy, who plays Star-Lord. He didn't play Nightwing this time. He played Red Hood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nightwing was another character. Was another actor. Adam Crosdell was Nightwing this time, not Will Friedle. The Red Hood was Will Friedle.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. But yeah, Tony Hale, you might remember him from Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
He played the Joker. and he was great.
He's also going to be in the second season of a series of unfortunate events. So we'll get there.
Right.
And they also had, who else do they have? They had, of course, Fred Tatasciore as Gorilla Grodd.
Fred, it's Tatasciore, and he played Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah.
Yuri Lowenthal played Robin.
And I want to say Tara Strong was still
She was Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, so she played both characters.
Yeah, there were a few people in here that played like two characters, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, it's not uncommon for animated projects, really.
I mean, we have all the greats. We have Two-Face, we have Penguin, we have Poison Ivy, we have Gorilla Grodd, we have Joker, we have Harley Quinn, we have Batman, we have Catwoman.
Basically the whole Batman rogues gallery, most of his villains, and Batman and his allies, they all get zapped to feudal Japan. So they're all stuck in Japan, and the bad guys are trying to take over the country. And Batman is not used to dealing with, he can't use his grappling hook. I thought that was funny. Like he tries to grapple out of danger from all these soldiers. He's like, oh, I can't hook on. I can't swing away onto a building or whatever. I thought that was funny.
And it was just really cool how they got there. He's put in a really different predicament where he has to rely on different instincts entirely, pretty much, which he's not used to. He loses gadgets right away, pretty much.
He almost,
And it's just, I was actually pretty blown away by this, because I remember like when I saw the trailer, I was like, that could be really, really cool. And it was. It was actually, I will say I like this a bit. I'll say I like this a little bit more than Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, just because it was so amazing how everything was done. And the animation was unbelievable. There was a scene that I won't get too deep into that they did a really cool shading with, and and the colors were amazing. The animation was amazing. The special effects were amazing. The fight scenes were amazing. Everything was over the top, but it was amazing. They did a really, really good job with this. This is probably one of the better Batman movies I've seen in a good while.
I liked it more than Hell to Pay, even though I thought Hell to Pay was a really good film. And I'll tell you why. I was just more entertained by the film. And I'll tell you what else. The movie gets very ridiculous. It gets very ridiculous.
It has its silly moments. Oh yes.
Goofy and over the top. But this is Batman. This is Batman done in an anime style.
So you expect it, like when it gets really crazy, you're like, I expected to do that though. That's not weird.
It's not. just so you know, this isn't Batman Forever, Batman and Robin silly. It's like it's done through the lens of Japanese anime and sort of that humor and style. And there's a lot of weird. There's a lot of, I don't want to say ridiculousness. There's a lot of weirdness. A lot of weird things happen in this film but as weird as everything was, I was blown away by by the climax of this film. Were you not?
I just loved it in general. Just like as everything went along, it was just so great. Just like the whole the story, the plot, the twists and turns, the surprises. It was all just an amazing joyride from start to finish. I mean, I just loved every minute of it.
I love seeing all the villains fighting in this setting, and Joker kind of takes over Japan, and he becomes this demon emperor, and it's all very amusing. And in terms of the animation, there are parts of it that even use different animated styles. There's this very weird section. It uses this very sort of surreal, it doesn't look like anime. It almost look like traditional Japanese artwork from that era.
But it fit that scene perfect. It added an extra, touch to it that just was amazing. It was one of the more standout scenes, It was very that scene was very haunting too. Yeah. This movie sadly doesn't come out till I think May 8th on Blu-ray and DVD and digital. And I don't remember when it comes out on April 28th, I want to say.
But this was probably one of my favorite experiences at WonderCon, just because we got to see a movie like that early, and it was different. It's not. It's a different type of Batman story, but it was still a good Batman story.
Yeah, it was a bit of a riskier story to tell, but it worked just perfectly. You could tell they'd really made sure that, hey, fans will enjoy this, and it's got Tom Kenny from SpongeBob SquarePants. It's just the cast is unbelievable.
Okay, so here are the releases for Batman Ninja. The digital release is on Tuesday. April 24th for
Okay.
digital video on demand. The physical Blu-ray and DVD release will be May 8th. So we still got a couple months for that.
Yeah, but that's one that if you want to see a really cool Batman story, pick that one up. I highly recommend.
Do you
that
remember Gotham Knight, the Batman anime film? Do you remember Gotham Knight from a while back? It was a
Gotham
while
Knight.
ago. It was kind of like they made like when the Dark Knight, or I guess I want to say around the time the Dark Knight was coming out, Chris Nolan's The Dark Knight, they made like this sort of anime anthology movie with like 6 different anime style.
Oh, I know of it. I don't know. I don't remember if I ever watched anything, but I know what you're talking
If you
about.
like that, I think you're really gonna like Batman Ninja.
Yeah.
Also, I think, do you remember when the DC animated universe on Cartoon Network they did? Do you remember when they were showing Young Justice back some years back, and they had some sort of anime style Batman shorts. This is like a feature length version of that, basically, is what I would say. So if you go back, let me see. I'm just trying to look up what these what these they were, the DC Nation shorts. Okay, so these weren't. It was Batman of Shanghai, and it was set in like 1930 Shanghai. And look, yeah, that's China, and this is Japan, but it kind of had that anime aesthetic. This is sort of a little. It's sort of like a feature length version of that, except it's Batman of the present being sent to feudal Japan, and it's awesome. This movie was awesome, right, Jay?
Absolutely, I agree. Now,
yeah.
Sadly, after this, my day took a few interesting turns. First of all,
what happened?
I went to the Ready Player One panel, which, because it was Saturday, started, I want to say, like 20 minutes late.
A lot of things were running late this weekend, weren't
that
they?
usually happens on a Saturday. It wasn't the biggest shock to me. But anyway, so I go to that. There were pluses and negatives to that panel.
Okay.
The
so
pluses
what were the
was getting to see the top 5. So getting to see like Ty Sheridan, Olivia Cook, who turns out she was in Meet Earl and the Dying Girl. I forgot that.
Right.
And, getting to see Ernest Cline and getting to see like the rest of the cast. So that was kind of cool, and hear cool stories about the making of the movie and Steven Spielberg, all that cool stuff. So it was cool to hear that. But it was also weird because there wasn't really any new footage at all shown from the movie. So that was kind of weird. And it ended 30 minutes later. So it ended at 1:40 because I was supposed to interview Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I understood why I didn't. I have no ill will why I didn't. But yeah, I showed up 30 minutes late for that. So that was kind of a bummer. Then I didn't get a exclusive signing for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I tried to get into that, and that didn't happen. And well, I'm not again. It's not really. It's again not ill will about it though.
Okay. So
the chances aren't that good at getting in.
Here's the issue. So they had a panel for Ready Player One.
Yes.
And they had no footage at all for you guys.
No.
That's a little weird, don't you think? Like
it was sad. I was really looking forward to it. It was kind of a disappointing panel. I was kind of like, this was not what I expected.
Did they have any Did they answer any fan questions at least during that panel?
I think they did a few, but they didn't have time for many.
Okay.
So it was an odd panel. It was a panel like I left going, well, I honestly was kind of a waste of time.
Did they have any interesting info for you guys at least?
It was just basically like, how they did the mocap, how they met, like, their interaction with Steven Spielberg, things like that. But I don't know. I was
there were no giveaways either, right?
No, there wasn't.
See, sometimes at the Comic-Con stuff, they'll give you, like, if you go to a big panel, they'll give you like a souvenir, and that didn't happen for this one, did it?
No. So it was kind of a weird.
I mean, you're not guaranteed to get, but sometimes it's nice to get something like a poster.
Yeah. So it was kind of weird that that happened, but my day did pick up because I went into the room where they're going to have Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events that Nathan Fillion is going to be hosting. So I went to 2 panels before that. Okay. One was they're doing a new YouTube Red show called Impulse that was kind of interesting.
That's the Doug Liman one, right?
Yeah, that was kind of interesting.
Doug Liman, who did Edge of Tomorrow and The Bourne Identity.
Yeah. And then I ended up being in for the Screen Junkies one where they did like some honest trailers and they did some movie battles, and that was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
Those guys do a good job, don't they?
Yeah, the movie battles were actually pretty impressive because some of the stuff they battled against, you're like, man, that's a tough choice. Like one of them did like Winter Soldier or like Civil War. One of them did like Toy Story, and like another's like they did some interesting battles. And there was a funny story behind one that they can't show online because someone actually knows the person it's about, but it was Adam Sandler from like pretty much 2010 to now. That friggin' Honest Trailer was absolutely hilarious. It was funny from start to finish, and it is online now. It actually went live today, I think. They did another one for Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Totally like just on point with everything it says. Was absolutely hilarious, funny. Made me laugh and was just totally just probably one of their better honest trailers ever done. I've watched a few of theirs in the past, but that one was pretty goddamn funny. So it was really cool to do that. And then the panel started. Nathan Fillion was there. We watched the pilot, which was a good pilot for the second season of a series of unfortunate events.
So they showed the whole thing.
Huh?
They showed the whole thing.
The pilot, yes. And Nathan Fillion is in it. Like I said, I just forgot his name.
Neil Patrick Harris?
No, the guy who was Joker in a Batman. Joe Hale, is that it? Joel Hale?
Tony Hale.
Tony Hale, close. So yeah, he's in it, and so it was cool to watch the pilot.
Wait, tell me who is Nathan Fillion playing?
He's playing Lemony Snicket's brother, I think.
Wait, how is it a pilot if it's in the second season?
Well, it's not necessarily it's the first episode of the second season. So
all right, so that's not a pilot.
No, pilot's the wrong word.
It's episode 2.1. It's
yes.
the first episode of season 2. The season premiere. That's what
what was weird about it though was there was supposed to be a panel afterwards, and that just didn't happen for reasons unknown. So that was a little odd.
So they didn't have a Q&A, but they did show you the whole episode.
Yeah, they were supposed to have like Patrick Warburton and a few other people, and they weren't there. So I don't know. It was kind of strange, but it was fun to get to watch the pilot. So that was nice.
So who but Nathan Fillion was there to intro the thing at least, right?
Yeah, and that was cool.
He must have gotten a nice reaction, right?
Oh yeah. People were excited. He was fun. He tried to make it fun, and and he told about when like they asked him, Neil Patrick Harris was like, do you want to be on season 2 of this show? You'll be my nemesis. He's like, well, you know the answer there, Neil. Yeah. So he was fun. He was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, so Fillion is Lemony Snicket's brother.
Yes.
And who does Tony Hale play in this season? Did we see him in the premiere?
Yeah, he there's another family, a friend of the family that the Baudelaires go to live with, and he's the one that has them live with them in like this really nice part of town, this really nice building. The wife is kind of weird because she stuff is in or isn't in. So that when they first go in there, it's just all candlelight because lights are out or something. You can't have lights on because it's not hip right now. It's weird. But
so they're are they like a weird like hipster type couple, I guess?
She is. She's more than him. She's really big into like ins and outs and all stuff. But it was a good start for the season. I personally really loved this show. I watched it earlier this year and I was like, why haven't I watched this sooner? Mm-hmm. It's got a great cast, it's got great stories, wonderful twists and turns.
Is it better than the original movie they did for Unfortunate Events? Remember that one?
I think so, just because it's not so rushed. They have time to tell so much more. And Patrick Warburton is amazing in it. He's better roles.
What about Neil Patrick Harris versus Jim Carrey as Count Olaf?
He's just better as Olaf because he has more time to play and develop and have Olaf grow and be more devious than Jim Carrey did. Because the big problem with the movie is just rushed. I mean, it's trying to tell where the show is like, hey, there's a bunch of books here, not just one book. So there's more they can play on, and like I said, it's not as rushed. They take more time to develop and grow the stories and things like that. So
does Count Olaf appear in the season 2 premiere?
Yes, he's there, and he's got and what he does, because what his basic role is ever since the first episode, he wants to get the Baudelaire fortune, right? And he can't because they're of age and he can't get it. He's not of age yet and he can't get it, so he keeps doing schemes to try to get it. And he actually has a really cool song. And this is his character called, I want to say, Fritz or something like that. Something like that is his name in this one. And he does this really cool little musical bit called Don't Give Up on Your Schemes. So it's kind of really cool to see that. So
do we get any of Lemony Snicket in the season premiere?
Yeah, we always get a little bit of him. Now, in this show, supposedly Lemony Snicket is actually dead, supposedly. But we've never been proven, is he or isn't he? But he's in every episode. He always gives little tidbits of, hey, this is happening here. This is happening.
Do you like Patrick Warburton as Lemony Snicket better than Jude Law?
Yeah, I think he's great. I forgot Jude Law was Lemony Snicket. Wow,
in the original film.
I forgot. It's been a while since I've seen that movie, but yeah, I think Patrick Warburton is great as Snicket. I think he's just wonderful, and he does a great job playing him and all that. So I really love this show, and I can't wait because it's Friday when we get the next season.
The full, and you're going to get the whole season.
Yeah.
When it comes on.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. So that was really fun Saturday night, and a good end of the Saturday, honestly.
Yeah.
And no, it wasn't the end of my Saturday though. I then went to the Masquerade, which was a lot of fun because
there was a lot of good cosplay last weekend.
There is, and
wow,
there's
unbelievable.
And at the Masquerade, there was we actually saw two. What were the Sanderson sisters? Was that what it was from Hocus Pocus?
From what?
Hocus Pocus. Was that the Sanderson sisters?
I don't remember their names. Yeah, the Sanderson sisters.
Yeah, I saw two of those.
Winifred, Mary, and Sarah.
Two of those. One where they had I Put a Spell on You with the little microphones. The other one was just without the microphones.
I wish I could have seen that.
Then there was a cosplay where it was Fifth Element. We had a guy who was Rockin' Rod or Roddy Rod.
Ruby Rod. Chris Tucker.
And he was really good.
I got a picture with that guy. I saw that guy. He was really good.
And in the Masquerade they had where he had his microphone. There was the flight attendant, and he had him come up. He had a guy was with Bruce Willis. He was like, "Hey, what's going on there?" And he's just like,
"Come in Dallas, come in Dallas."
Yeah, and then they had Lilu Dallas come out, and she just does the multi-pass thing. And then we had a guy who was actually the Blue Alien, which did a pretty good job actually with their cosplay. And at one part, Gary Oldman's character came out with a really realistic-looking gun from the movie, so that was really cool. So there was some...
The character Gary Oldman played, you mean?
Yes, what I mean, yes.
Zorg.
So there was some really amazing...
Zorg.
Yes, Zorg.
Thank you.
And there were some really good kid cosplays, too. There were some kids, I was like, they had some amazing just...
don't you just respect how into it those fans are when they come to the convention, they dress up?
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like I saw a lot of kids dressed as Overwatch characters on Sunday, especially. Kids really like McCree for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, cyborg cowboys are really in right now. McCree is a character. He's one of the characters from Overwatch, a very popular video game.
Oh, and they had a really cool one too at the Masquerade where they had a girl. And then they had guys and girls being flowers, and they did the flower song from Alice in Wonderland. That was really cool. The original animated one
was Hawk Girl at the Masquerade.
I don't think so, actually. Oddly enough,
there was a really great there was a couple there.
I saw it, the Hawkman and Hawk Girl, and they had the two maces that. Yeah,
I'm telling you, this wingspan would probably be 20 feet at least, right?
Yeah. And their maces lit up, which was awesome. I love that.
I don't know, that woman has got to be a very tough woman because that's a huge. That's that thing looks huge to be wearing that around.
Yeah, I got a picture of that cosplay. That cosplay was unbelievable.
But cosplay is isn't that one of the best things about conventions? Just to see how, because some people they do such a great job with their costumes, right?
They really do, yeah.
All right, so for me on Saturday, I did take part. I got to take part in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. roundtables. I didn't get a lot of time with the cast and crew, but I did get to chat with them a little. Here's my big takeaway. Still nothing on season 6.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of talk that season 5 will be the last season. That's not confirmed, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to be very hopeful there will be a 6th season, but there's no word on that. The panel. So pretty much everyone was there for the panel. Clark Gregg, and now come early this week, we know why Clark Gregg was not at WonderCon. Guess why he wasn't there?
He was at the March, I believe, is where he was.
He's actually filming Captain Marvel right now. Because Coulson is in Captain Marvel.
Okay. They were telling me that it was because he was at the March.
What March?
They had the March that weekend for gun control, didn't they? I heard he was.
He might have been in that, but he's he did during the panel. Chloe Bennett, who plays Sky Daisy Johnson,
mm-hmm.
She did call him, and he did give a little live chat video. Said he loves WonderCon. That was cute. We didn't get a full episode during the panel, but we did get a clip from toward the end of a later episode that'll be airing this season.
Really, you didn't get a full episode? That's weird. I thought they said they were going to do one.
I mean, they showed a good chunk of an episode, not a full episode. I just don't think they had time, and they did have a Q&A with the cast. Overall, it was a good panel for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I went to the panel last year. It was a blast. It was Clark Gregg's birthday. He had a cake. And Brett Dalton showed up out of nowhere last year, and they showed the full episode of the framework. It was really, really cool. So, yeah, it was a blast last year. One of the better panels I went to last year.
But basically, right after WonderCon was over, we found out that Clark Gregg was filming. He's in Captain Marvel playing Phil Coulson yet again. And the reason that is because Captain Marvel is set about 25 years. It's set in the early 90s. So it's going to be set about 25 years earlier than Infinity War, basically.
So he'll be younger, but I guess
his character will be younger, but he'll still be in the film. So I think that's the reason why he wasn't at WonderCon, because he was doing filming for Captain Marvel. Okay,
it's a possibility.
Because I imagine if he was at a Marge, I mean, if it wasn't, I mean, most of his cast and crewmates probably would have been there with him. It was a good panel. Oh, and the other good panel I saw that evening was for a new animated show on TBS that I really like called Final Space. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this show?
Yes. I've heard of it, yeah.
It's executive produced by Conan O'Brien. It's created by Olin Rogers, who is a popular YouTuber. He did this animated sci-fi pilot. It's kind of like Futurama, a little bit. You a fan of Futurama, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, so think Futurama meets like Rick and Morty.
Okay.
It's about this futuristic prisoner named Gary, who he committed a crime and he's serving out his sentence on an intergalactic space vessel, and he gets he sort of inexplicably adopts sort of this cute little slimy creature who he names Mooncake. He adopts it, and Mooncake is sort of like a hidden weapon who has the power to like destroy everything, but he thinks Mooncake is really cute, so he like treats him as a pet and adopts him as a pet. And now, so there's this conspiracy with David Tennant voicing this evil character called I think he's called the Lord Superior, and he teams up with this sort of this space marine voiced by Tika Sumpter from Ride Along, the main girl from the Ride Along movies. Plays a character named Quinn, who he has the hots for. So they're all teaming up. He teams up with this sort of this cat warrior named Avocado. Get it? Avocado, but with a T. Avocado. Isn't that funny? So they're trying to save the universe from this evil tyrant played by David Tennant, and it's a lot of fun. Olin Rogers was there. I enjoyed the panel. They showed a whole new episode, and I would highly recommend this show. It's a fun show.
Yeah, it's available on TBS now, right?
TBS, yeah, it's on TBS. It's only going to be a 10-episode first seasons. They're only 5 episodes in right now, so they showed the fifth episode of the season, and I just discovered this show, and I'm really enjoying it right now. Do you ever watch Rick and Morty? Okay,
I haven't had a chance to.
Okay, I mean, I think if you're a fan of Futurama, you would like this show. It's not. Here's what I do. It is a little edgy and it is a little violent at times, but it's not mean spirited. It's very funny. Gary, he's sort of a meathead, but he's a bit of an idiot. He's a bit of a dimwit, but he's like nice. He's not mean spirited with how dumb. He's not like a dumb jock. You know what I mean? He's not like a dumb jock or a bully. He's a nice guy. He likes to play cards with people. He just wants a guy he can play cards with. And he hits on the girl he likes, Quinn, a lot, but he's not creepy about it, you know?
Good.
He's not like a creepy perverted dude. So I had a lot of fun with that panel. So that was basically my Saturday for WonderCon. And you had to leave early Sunday, so I was able to see Batman Ninja on Sunday. So that was basically WonderCon this year. So overall, I had a good time. I got a little shopping done on Sunday. I helped my friends find some stuff. Um, Checked out some graphic novels from the IDW booth. I picked up some Transformers comics. Get some Transformers reading. I really like Transformers IDW comics. So, the show floor. What were your thoughts on the show floor this year?
It wasn't bad. I liked it better last year, to be honest, because
Marvel didn't even have a booth this year.
what was weird to me was who didn't have a booth was Nintendo didn't have a booth. They did last year. They had a few games last year. They had like
Yeah,
Star Fox Zero. They had Pokken Tournament. They had like
Splatoon.
they had the Legend of Zelda, Hyrule Warriors.
It's not a video game heavy show though. You know.
True, but it was kind of cool seeing that last year. They gave you free stuff. They had a really cool setup for Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. They
Right.
actually had Megan Fox and Steph Amell were there one day.
I remember that.
So they had like the floor was kind of utilized better last year. It seemed like this year was kind of weird where they had the new hall where they had the VR stuff. That was kind of weird and tucked away.
There weren't a lot of exciting like exhibits on the show floor though
Not
this year.
really. I didn't see anything. I went on the floor a few times and I just didn't see anything that blew me away. Not
Nothing.
really. I
Yeah.
mean, just sadly, but it's the truth.
Comic Con will usually have a few things on there that are like real exciting.
Yeah.
WonderCon has in the past, but this year, I would agree. I wasn't really blown away.
Yeah.
DC Comics had a booth, IDW had a booth,
Mhm.
and some of the other smaller comic companies had a booth. But Marvel,
Yeah.
I got a weird alert on my phone. Sorry about that. And Marvel didn't have a booth, which they
Mhm.
don't always, but it is a comic convention, so I would have liked to have seen some more comic
Mhm. Definitely. It was all right, but it didn't.
series trying to tell me something right now.
Yeah, it was all right, but it didn't blow me away the floor this year. I mean, it was there just was it was big as it usually is there, but it was utilized better at like say like D23. It was utilized much better there.
Well, I mean the convention center. You mean?
Yeah. So I
I mean
mean,
D23 is Disney, so they can go.
even last year, like WonderCon, they used
Yeah.
the floor better than this year.
Well, yeah, but I mean Disney is D23, so they can go crazy with that and set up all sorts of
Mhm.
amazing stuff.
And it was a bit more confusing with that other hall being open. It was a little more confusing of finding like sometimes like the round table rooms or like the some rooms because they were
Yeah,
in.
because they had that new hall and
Yeah.
and they did a lot of the press stuff and a lot of new panels in
Hmm.
the in the North Hall. And I
Hmm.
got to tell you, it was a pain. Like the way they have you exit out the side entrance, and you always had to go around to get back in.
Hmm.
That was a bit of a pain, wasn't it? But
Yeah, it was. I agree.
first world problems. So
Hmm.
I mean, overall though, I had a decent time at WonderCon this year. So I met some cool people.
Hmm.
Um, the panels were I think the panels were good, not great, but my favorite thing was definitely Batman Ninja by far.
Hmm.
What was your favorite thing? Your if you could one thing that was like your favorite thing to do at WonderCon this year, what was that?
It was Batman Ninja just because on Saturday it was just so cool to like see the the whole movie and then have the whole cast up there and and like just hear how all the movie came to be and all that stuff. It was just really awesome to see that. It was really cool. So I loved it.
My favorite event this year, I'm gonna say Final Space.
Mm,
I enjoyed that a lot just because now it was fun to discover a new show I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about, and
mm,
now I've discovered that show and I've watched it and I'm really liking it right now. And I think
mhm,
it's got great animation, it's
mhm,
got great writing, a great cast, likable characters, and now I
mhm.
have like a new favorite show right now. So, uh, it's fun to find new things.
Definitely will say this. I'm more excited for Cloak and Dagger now. That's for sure. I'm looking more
Cloak
forward
and
to that.
Dagger. I am excited about it, but I need to see more before I'm really sold. Like I wasn't fully sold on it. Like I thought it was a pilot, so not a lot happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to see more before I'm really settled on the show. You know how that feels?
Yeah, I do.
Right? Like, I mean, Lemony Snicket, at least you got a whole first season in of that show, so you kind of know what it's all about. Cloak and Dagger, we still don't know a whole lot of how it will work.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, so great. That was our WonderCon. So before we leave, I'll be going over. Hopefully, we'll have another show up later this weekend. I think we're going to both want to talk about Ready Player One since we both saw the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I also have an interesting bit of news. I just got an invite today for Avengers: Infinity War.
Nice.
So I was very surprised. So now I know for a fact I will be seeing the movie on April 24th.
Nice, nice.
So hopefully you will be getting.
I'll get it somehow because I usually get the Marvel ones. I'm usually
yeah. So hopefully you'll be getting that one soon as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Mm-hmm. And I also got Blockers with that comedy, the John Cena one.
I do. It looks terrible.
All right. Well, I'm going to be seeing that one coming up. I think that'll be next week.
I refuse. I really don't want to. The trailers look so bad. I'm like, I'm good, thank you.
And I think next show we're also going to want to talk about it's already out, but Isle of Dogs.
Yeah, definitely want to talk about that.
Isle of Dogs.
That one's getting a lot of good buzz. Definitely.
We mainly wanted to talk about WonderCon, just give you guys a quick recap and our highlights of WonderCon, and we'll be
and also I'll bring up some new shows that are coming out on ABC and Freeform, and some finales happened in the last week or two, so I'll talk about that too. So.
Right. And also, like, what the heck is going on with the X-Men at 20th Century Fox? Because New Mutants has been pushed to August 2019, and X-Men has also been pushed to February 2019. Sounds a little troubling, doesn't it, Jay?
Yeah, but to be fair, with how Apocalypse was, I'm not surprised.
All right, so that about does it for us tonight, folks. I'm Jeffrey Harris. You can check out my review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi on Blu-ray just went up on Blu-ray, so check that out, please, on 411mania.com. So go to 411mania.com or 411mania.com/movies. And Jay, go ahead and give us your plug.
Well, like I said, two of my interviews from Cloak and Dagger at WonderCon are on my YouTube, Movie Secret 23. The third one I'm going to post tonight, and in the next few days, should hope to be able to post I have some interviews I'll post, but others to post from Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. I got to do video with some of the cast for that, so those should be going up in the next few days too.
All right, so check out Jay's WonderCon coverage. Everyone, thank you for joining us tonight on Hollywood Purgatory. This is where the entertainment industry comes to get judged, and we will see you soon. I'm Jeffrey. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jay. Good night.